Hello, my name is Christina Ortega. I'm a counselor and the transfer coordinator here at Cabrillo. And today we'll be reviewing the UC application for this upcoming fall admission cycle. So we want to start early. We want to be prepared. We want to start researching campuses if you haven't done so already, making sure that they offer your major, looking to see if they have any supplemental applications. If you are have completed or planning to complete all the required major preparation, your academic counselor can assist you with that. We want to also apply broadly. So submitting applications to, your more reach schools and then having a safety school. It is important to apply broadly because you never know how the admission cycle is going to go. And we don't want you to have to wait another year in order to apply. So we want to submit at least 3 applications and one of them being one of your safety schools. When you're creating your account, you want to provide an email address that you check regularly. Especially the UC, I would say more than the CSU, often want clarifying information. I had a student once that put that she was a Mason member and they wanted I had to write a letter to support her. So you want to check that, and they usually give you a pretty quick turnaround. So you want to make sure that you're checking that email regularly. So the transfer timeline, the UC application opens August 1st. You're able to submit your UC application between October 1st and December 2nd. Historically, that deadline has been November 30th, but since it lands on a holiday and a holiday weekend this year and on the Sunday, or Saturday actually, they have postponed it to December 2nd, which is a Monday. You'll also have to complete your TAU, your Transfer Academic Update, and that's in January. This is a requirement for the UC application. Your application will be denied if you do not complete this in January. Pretty simple step. You'll need to list your fall grades and then update your spring classes. Won't take more than 5 minutes. Pretty easy, but it is a big step for you. There are so January 31st is that deadline. UC Berkeley also has a supplemental application if you're intending to apply there. So make sure you check those dates and deadlines. UCs typically let students know between April 1st and April 30th of their admission decision. Some less impacted campuses, Riverside, Merced, maybe even UCSC will let you know pretty early in the month. And then the more impacted campuses, San Diego, UCLA, UC Berkeley, are towards like literally April 30th. June 1st is your statement of intent to register. So that's the deadline to submit that you are going to go there. And often there's a deposit. And then they're going to want your final transcripts on or before July 1st. So what are the minimum UC admission requirements? So to be eligible for UC admission, you have to have at least 60 semester units by the end of spring. So it could be in progress right now and plan to meet that 60. You have to have at least a 2.4 GPA, and no more than 14 semester credits can be taken pass, no pass. Now, when they list the 2.4 GPA, that's just bare minimum. If we're looking at more impacted campuses, UC San Diego, UCLA, UC Davis, even UCSC, it needs to be much higher than that, and especially if we're looking at impacted majors. You'll need to complete the following minimum admission requirements. Depending on your major, you may have gotten much more than this done. They want at least 2 transferable English courses. So most students take English 1A or English and English 2. 1 transferable course in mathematics, and then 4 college courses from 2 of the different subject areas. So a lot of my STEM students have, the entire physics series. So they have 3 physical and biological sciences. So then they would just have to take 1 more from arts and humanities or social and behavioral sciences. Once again, this is just minimum admission requirements. Most students have much more than that, so they're taking less at the university. So you can scan the QR code or go to apply.universityofcalifornia.edu. There is only 1 application for all 9 campuses, and you can apply through all of them through there. And once again, that is open. So you want to click the transfer. I've graduated from a high school and enrolled at a college or university. And then most of you should be junior level transfers. If you click sophomore or senior, a lot of the campuses won't be accepting. So if you're in either of the sophomore or senior thing, you should know. And if you're not sure, a counselor can help you. But majority of our students are going to be junior level transfers, meaning that they'll have 60 units by the end of spring 2025. So you can navigate the application on the right-hand side. Um, through each of the quadrants, you can, or each of the sections, you can save it, so you don't have to complete them all in one sitting. And once again, you'll want to make sure that you're creating a login, writing it down, and using an email that you check regularly. So in your about section, that is where your personal information, not all of them are going to be required. Some are just survey data, voluntary. So fill out what has to be, obviously, and then whatever you feel comfortable about. I'll ask for citizenship and residency, household income, parent information, your own background. The parent and the financial information is what's going to determine the fee waiver. This does not determine if you receive financial aid. It does not talk to FAFSA. It just determines, one, for their own data, but secondly, and most importantly, if you receive the fee waiver or not. And there's a calculation that it does in the back. So you'll want to list your citizenship and residency. If you are a DACA student or undocumented, you'll want to put no section or no selection. You'll want to put in your social security number. This is really important because this is what's going to link it to your FAFSA account. It's also what's going to be on file at the university. So make sure that you have that on file so that you're putting that in accurately. If you accidentally transpose a number, or I don't know if they'll let you forget a number, but then it's just going to be more of a hassle for you to fix it later on. So make sure that's accurate. So they'll ask household information. Are you married? If you have children, if you've been in foster care, are you a veteran? And they'll have explanations about whether you're considered an independent or dependent student. And there'll also be an age bracket. They'll give you a birth date. If it's before that date, then you're considered independent. So you only have to claim your income. If you're after that, you have to claim a dependent, even though your parents may not financially support you. So, like I said before, that calculation is determined to see if you get the fee waiver. If you do get the fee waiver, you get up to 4 campuses for free. And then anything above and beyond that will be $70. If you don't get the fee waiver, it's $70 per application. So then you'll want to choose your major. Some campuses will ask for an alternate major. If they don't have enough seats or you don't qualify for your primary major, you're going to want to find an alternate major that is close to it and that you also meet the criteria for, but also something that you would be interested in studying. Obviously, you don't have to go there if they only offer you a seat in your alternate major. What you don't want to do is pick a less impacted major to get into that campus and plan to change once you get there. They're very strict on changing majors, usually do not allow you to, especially for really impacted campuses and majors. So you'll have to be satisfied with your alternate major if you decide to go to that campus. If you created a TAP account, Transfer Academic Planner, or did a tag, Transfer Admission Guarantee, you can link your account and it will upload all of that coursework in there for you so that you don't have to do it again. If you didn't, don't worry, you can put them all straight into the application. They'll ask you what your last high school was attended, your graduation date, and if you received a degree. And then they'll ask you which college you attended, what the grading system was, and every term that you completed. This is really important. Please don't go by memory. Please don't go by student planning. You're going to want to download your unofficial transcript, or you can always come to the office and we can print it out for you. And go exactly that's on your transcript. A lot of times, I would say more often than not, students forget that they took maybe a dual enrollment class in high school, and they forget to list that. So make sure you're looking at your transcript. So you're going to want to add a course. You're going to want to add each course that you've taken at Cabrillo. If the course is UC transferable at Cabrillo, so most of our courses labeled 1 through 49 are UC transferable, they're going to auto-populate for you. You want to do this first. Why you want to do that first is it's going to give them an accurate UC unit count and GPA account for you. So anything that's UC transferable, if it came from a California community college, even though if you took other courses besides Cabrillo, will be listed here. The only time you're going to have to manually enter it, and you'll see it here where it says on the bottom, I don't see my courses, manually enter it, is if it's non-transferable, if it's only CSU transferable, or you took those classes at another university or college that is outside of California or private in-state. So for instance, a lot of our support classes for Math 101, Math 112, those are non-transferable. You'll manually enter those. You have to enter every single grade. So even if you got a W, if you repeated it, if you got an academic renewal, you're going to have to list it exactly how it lists on your transcript. It will then, so after you list all of your courses, there's going to be a portion where it asks if you've done your entry-level writing requirement. So that's going to be your 2 English courses. And if you've done your math course, if you have AP English in the workshop, we can help you. There's a little trick to that. You actually put no on non-planned, non-completed for English if you did AP, and it'll automatically populate. I don't know why, that's a glitch, but it does get tricky. So this is kind of an example right here. So this student took AP English and English 2. When we pulled it up, it was only bringing up the English 2. We had to put none planned, and then their AP score came up. They will then ask if you use UC transfer pathways. So what the UC system did is they came up with 20 pathways for the most common majors. This is not going to hurt or help you. You can leave it blank. Same thing with the California student ID number. If you went to a California high school more recently, you're going to have a California student ID number, and that's going to be on your high school transcript. If you don't have it and we don't have it on file, you can just leave it blank. Also not a make or break decision. There's also an additional contents form or comments form. This is where you're going to put comments that you have not explained in your personal insight questions. So common things that students put in the additional comment section here are, I have an honors contract for a certain class, or I'm getting, I'll be in honors certified by the end of spring. We don't offer Physics 4D at Cabrillo, and I was unable to take that class. So that's really things that we can explain in your personal insight questions that we'll put in the additional comments for them to read, the application reviewers to read. But don't worry if you don't have anything to say. You don't have to put something there. Then we'll ask for test scores. This includes AP, IB, and TOEFL. If you got a 3 or better on your AP exam, please list it because you're going to need credit for that. If you got a 5 on IBHL, also list that. If you took the class but never the test, don't worry about it. This is only if you took the test and you passed it. Then the UC application will give you an opportunity to list any activities and awards. They do prefer that you list more recent things. If you don't have anything recent, then you can put things in high school, but they prefer to see more recent. You can list up to 20 total activities. You don't have to list 20. That's a lot, actually. And like I said, they actually call you out on it and want justification. So we don't want to fib here. We want to be honest and transparent. And you don't have to have one from every category. So categories that they allow you to list are award or honors, educational prep programs, any extracurriculars, volunteering and community service, and then work experience. Then I'll give you an opportunity to add scholarships or to apply for scholarships and programs. These scholarships you apply to really with your personal insight questions. So definitely go through them. There's some interesting ones. I've once had a student that got like her dad was a fisherman, and so she got the fisherman scholarship by doing the UC application. There is a transfer one and some first gen ones there as well. Now we'll go to the personal insight questions. So the personal insight questions are 4 required questions for the UC application. There's one question that everyone has to complete, and that's how you're best prepared for your major and to be a transfer student. And then they'll give you a list of 3 or about 7 course questions and prompts, and then you choose 3 of them. This is in lieu of them having the opportunity to interview you. So the UC says we are looking at these applications holistically. So not just, they want to look at who you are as a person, not just academically, but your leadership skills, things like that. But I will tell you that PIQs are not a life-saving situation. So if you have a 2.4 GPA in amazing PIQs, you probably are still not getting into Berkeley. So the major weight of the application is still going to come from your major preparation and your GPA. And just think of the PIQs as like a little sprinkle on the top. Each is going to be about 200 to 350 words each. So pretty short paragraphs. We have workshops to help you with that. That's led by one of our counselors. You can also make a 30-minute appointment to review that with a counselor, or go to either our writing center or ILC in Watsonville, and they can look at that as well. Have friends and family look over it, or anyone that you admire and that you feel that they could have the ability to proofread and give you feedback. I've had lots of students share them with faculty members if they ask their permission, or family members that can give you feedback. So once again, the academic history, you don't have to. It will limit you to 550 characters. If you're not talking about, like, say, several withdrawals in one of your PIQs, but if you're addressing in there, you don't need to put in your additional comments. This would also be a place for that. And that's about it. So all of these will be checkmarked before you can submit, and then you start your submission process. They'll ask you for a payment. If you are receiving a fee waiver, then you just acknowledge yes, and it will null out that amount that you use. To get a fee waiver, you have to be a U.S. citizen or permanent resident, or attended a California high school for at least 3 years and meet their low income criteria. So the next steps is to check out either our personal insight question webinar, which is a recorded version of that, or go to a live one. And then, as I mentioned before, a UC CSU application help session. We have several of them in October and November where we're actually walking around, you're working on your applications. This really, depending on how many students are in there, is not an appropriate time to review PIQs. It's really just to review your application, just because PIQs take a little bit longer. It's important for you to allow UC to release your information back to the community college. This is how Transfer Services informs you of next steps, how to order your transcript, graduation information, reps, scholarship opportunities. So it is important to disclose that to us. And then you'll want to print a copy of your receipt and write down your UC application and ID. And then once again in January, update your TAU and check your portal often. So right now we're in October 9th. These are just the ones for October. We'll have a help session on October 22nd in person and October 30th virtual. If you can go to those, great. And then we'll have several in November also. If you go to the transfer events calendar, there's also sessions hosted by our partners at the UC, and the November one should be posted up there pretty quickly, probably by the end of this week. Here are the application workshops. We have several in November to help you. They'll go over strong examples, not so strong examples, And if Lauren has time and it's a quiet workshop, she'll also review them in there, but if it's busy, she's not able to. Okay, so your next steps is to sign up for an application help session. If you have any questions, you can email us at transfercenter@Cabrillo, or you can attend a UC application session hosted by one of our UC partners. Thank you for listening today. I'm going to go ahead and shut off the recording.